my channel. I'm Mac. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about a life tip that I think is super important in order to boost your self-esteem and have a sense of purpose, even on a kind of very micro level that is very, very effective on a macro level. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys that I do have a social media presence. I am on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook at Mac Guerrero. I also have a website called Mystical Mac where there's a blog that I post 6 times per week, 6 days to be exact of the week. I post a blog up there, so go check it out. And of course, you can check out my podcast, Mystical Mac, and that's also on my website. So without further ado, what is this tip that I have for you guys about life? To keep plants. Maybe a plant if you're not, in a position where you can keep, say, a few plants, but keep at least one plant. And the reason for this is because when we have something else that we are responsible for, something living, it is very easy, or rather, it's easier for us to, okay, I'm not even going to generalize. For me personally, I found that it's a lot easier for me to get out of bed in the morning because I need to water my plants than to say, get up in the morning because I need to go to the gym. And I'm getting to a point where I'm treating myself to the degree that I treat my pets, not even my pets, I don't want to say my companions, right, my plants included, where I start to treat myself that way. But before I could start getting to this point, one thing that I really noticed about myself was that it was a lot easier for me to get up because I had to water the plants, because I had to, feed the snake, because I had to go make sure the cat has enough food and water. And that's a lot of companions that I just listed, but that's why I'm saying keep a plant. A plant is something that is simple enough. It can be simple enough, depends on if you choose a complicated plant. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of options for starter plants that you guys can get that don't take that much effort and can just kind of thrive very, I don't want to say quickly because it sets an expectation, but just thrive very noticeably, and it makes you feel really good about yourself. And one of the things that I also love to do is I love to talk to my plants. Now, there have been studies that have been done. You can go find out on your own about that, but when you speak to plants and positively interact with them, they grow healthier and they thrive. They don't just survive, they thrive. So even having that kind of relationship with a living thing that sure isn't living in the same way as your aunt or uncle or your mom or dad or even your dog or cat, but a living thing nonetheless, building a relationship with a living thing in that sort of way, especially a relationship in which all you do is positively reinforce this plant, and in return the plant thrives and it grows and it truly does show its love for you in that way. It's very rewarding if you can really wrap your head around around how beautiful it is to even have a connection with something like a plant. It seems really crazy to some people, I understand that, because plants can't talk to us in language, but once you keep a plant, you become very aware of things in nature that we aren't taught to be aware of in our society, at least most of us that live in the Western society. So, for example, by keeping a plant, you're going to become more attuned to the seasons, because when spring comes, you're going to have to repot it and give it fresh soil, etc. When winter comes, you might have to move it to a different spot in the house so it can get the adequate amount of sunlight. So you become more attuned to Mother Nature as a whole just by keeping a plant. So I hope you guys try it. I actually have a few plants. They're behind me here. They all have names. On that end, we have Jen and Taylor in the same pot. We have Charlotte, the spider plant. We have Violet. I forget what she is, but she's beautiful. I named her Violet because she's got these beautiful purple undertones under her leaves. And then I have Aya over there, which you can't quite see super well, but she's a vine. And yeah, I keep them. They reward me with being absolutely beautiful. They give me oxygen. They keep my room a little bit more humid, which is nice, by the way, for your skin and things like that. Not so humid, obviously, like it's not a sauna situation, but it is noticeably more humid than the rest of the apartment. So it's a pretty dope thing. Also, I realized I was gonna give you guys a couple of options for starter plants, and that would be a succulent or a spider plant, or yeah, for starter plants. Sorry, I thought I said for spider plants. That would be a spider plant or a succulent. The spider plant, by the way, I have one that's Charlotte, the one that's kind of crazy like that, going upwards like that. That's the spider plant, and they're pretty easy to take care of. And the only thing you have to watch out for is overwatering. So, you know, just what I do is I just water her once a day, but not like douse her in water, just like water the roots a little bit and kind of leave it that way. And you can tell if they need to be misted, like if they aren't getting enough humidity, because the leaves will start, at the ends, will start to kind of dry up. You'll be able to tell, and then in that case you can mist it, or just be sure you're adding adequate amounts of water. And then the succulent is pretty easy. I think watering those is every few days kind of ordeal. So yeah, and hey, if you kill your first plant, it's okay. Like, it happens. I don't know if I killed it, but I had to say goodbye to a plant baby recently, and it was kind of sad, but things happen. The plant transitioned, and who knows what the plant's gonna reincarnate as, right? Queenie, I hope you're here with us. Okay, that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this life tip video. Try it, let me know how it is, and like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.